What's up, my name's B-Rock.
J-Pat, and we're the Knox, and you're about to check out all of the gear we use for our live performance.
So I'm going to show you my side of our setup, the spaceship, whatever you call it. This is a machine. It's made by Native Instruments, and it's its own program and everything, but I really just use it as a MIDI controller, which means I give different assignments to all these different buttons. So every time a new song comes on, the whole layout will change via our computer. And I'll have drum sounds on here, I'll have samples, I'll have things like that, but it also does things like if I want to turn on my vocoder, I have it queued up here. If I want to stop the whole show, I can hit it here. If Magic is a song that we use as an encore, so when I come back on, I hit this and it plays, and Kiss the Sky, KTS, is one of our songs, and that cues it up, and yeah, it's a very simple thing, but so useful, and without it, we wouldn't be able to do anything really. This can also be used in the studio, which is why I originally bought it, and I was using it in the studio. It kind of works like a new age MPC in the sense that you can program loops and do everything right on. You can make a whole track just by using this if you want to. We actually don't use it in the studio anymore. We kind of did for a second, and then not anymore, but now we really just use it as a MIDI controller. But it is a great tool in the studio if you're into that. This is my little fatty. This is like the thing we've had forever. As you can see, it's a little beat up and worn down, but this is how I play all the bass lines in our songs. And I have my own presets on here. It's the titles of some songs: Knox Bass, ROYL, We Are Your Friends, all these different sounds that we've programmed that are saved. This is because I'm a terrible keyboard player. This is for me to remember which notes are which in case I'm a little too drunk on stage and trying to remember things. This is. We use this in the studio too. This is on our rack, used all the time in the studio. So this has been around a long time. We've had to get it fixed like 3 times. Not because it's a shitty piece of equipment, just because it's been around the world and back. This is made by Moog, which is it's like a household name for electronic music and for mono synths in general. Mono means you can only play one note at a time. You can't do chords, but that's what makes the bass so fat and so special. And Moog has been, they make arguably some of the best keyboards in the world. So. This is my Roland Spd-Sx, and it's I play this a lot in the show. This also got very banged up over time. This also, like my drum pads over there, the sounds change throughout the show, and I'll do everything from hi-hats to snares to samples to like digital cowbell things. And again, I have my presets on here. That's Knox. MIDI means it's just on MIDI mode. Knox Classic is one of our songs. Dancing with Myself is one of our songs. And this is also set up with MIDI also, so sometimes the sounds aren't even loaded on here, and it's just cueing MIDI. So I'll have like samples, like on Classic, I hit a Cuckoo Classic on this thing, and and this is a staple as well. So, and it's made by Roland, which is obviously another huge brand when it comes to electronic drums or drums in general. And I don't know if anyone uses a drum pad on stage, it's 90% of the time is a Roland, I think. Especially the Spd-Sx, this is like the best one. They make bigger ones and stuff like that, but this one's just perfect for me. And and it's awesome. This is the newer one. We used to have an old one that was like the old SPD, the original one, which like felt ancient. So it's nice to have the newer one. And these over here are my Zed Midi drums. These, unlike the SPD, you can't load sounds onto them. They are literally just triggers. And these have different sounds. Sometimes I'm hitting like these laser sounds. Sometimes I'm hitting big 80s tom roll style stuff. And these are fun because it's one of those things where no matter where you hit the drum or how hard you hit it, your sound is going to come out. So I can just really go nuts on it, and it like looks cool, because you're banging them, and I don't know, they're just fun to have. And I got these guys and my cymbals, and this is my little drum zone. And now down here we call this the brain. This is where you got these 2 Fireface, these RMEs, which are basically the brain of everything. All the audio goes into there, comes out of there, all the MIDI is controlled through there, our in-ear monitors are controlled through here, and it's all running through Ableton on the laptop. This is also our in-ear packs. But like I said, this is not only the most expensive part of the whole rig probably, but the most important. If this thing dies, the whole show shuts off, which is scary sometimes, and it has happened. We've blown fuses before, but recently we upgraded and got 2 that are newer, so hopefully that will never happen again. But we used to run literally off like a little USB sound card thing, so this is a big step up for us, and it makes the whole show way more powerful.
What's up, J-Pat? one half of the Knox, and this is my half of the live show. Start with the Groove Machine, aka the Fender good old precision bass. Wireless, so I can roam around stage doing my groove thing. I keep these strips of tape on them as like markers, because sometimes it gets so dark I can't see where my hands are on the fret, and you know, lights are flashing in my face, so I have to like look down quickly to like know where I'm at in whatever song, and it like kind of, it's just like a starting point for me. My nails are painted so that when the lights shine off me while I'm playing bass, it like blinds people, which is tight. I don't change the strings very often because I don't want to have to be tuning constantly during a show, and I like the grit that old strings have. I just feel like it's just got like that soul in every show that I've ever played on them, so I like to keep them on for as long as I can. This is my Akai Mpd 18 controller pad. I use it for a couple different songs in the show. It's just basically these pads just trigger different samples that we have in different songs. I think I use it for Bright Side and Get Up to Get Down and one other one. But yeah, our songs are really densely layered, so there's a lot of stuff that is being played in the track, and there's a lot of stuff that he and I are triggering off of our sample controllers, and this triggers like little like vocal stuff, and basically it's mostly just vocal stuff. So yeah, rhythmic stuff here and there. Turn it up and down, put it on note repeat and hold it, and it just goes da 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 da. I actually never use that. Actually, I have to make sure that's off when I'm playing it because it fucks up the rhythm. I keep it at full level so that every time I hit it, I don't have to worry. If it's not on full level, it goes according to like how hard you hit it is how loud it plays. If you keep it at full level, it doesn't matter. It'll always play at the same volume. We chose this one because it was the most simple, and we were just looking for something that we could just quickly use as a trigger effect, and you know, we didn't want like a bunch of bells and whistles because it's not really what we were needing it for. So it's basically just trigger pads, and that's it, and nothing else. It's not even like a volume knob. This is my keyboard. It's what I use to play all the keys you hear. It's a Nord Electro, 61 keys. It's got effects. You can play E piano, grand piano upright, whirly, clav. It's got a pretty dense sample library of like strings and like synths and stuff that I never really get into, but I mostly keep it on grand piano. You can also rock organ, which I never use. We should start using more organ, because I actually grew up playing organ in church, but you can get like a B3, C3 sound out of it. It's connected through MIDI to this, which is called a Virus Snow, which is made by Access, and it is this allows me to play the sounds. This cable, it's a MIDI cable, allows me to play the sounds off this through this. So in the show, you'll see me like turn one down and turn one up, and then like when I turn this up, I'm usually about to like solo on like a crazy synth solo, or like play some. This is mostly the synth, so like the synth, like I was saying, this has a synth library. This is like the synth library. So all of the synths that we use for every song are like programmed into this, and I have them saved. 1, 2, 3, 4. All my leads that I use for different solos, my pad I use for different playing or whatever. Got a little E piano in there, a little poly synth in there. Dance DJ, that's the synth I use for dancing with the DJ. And yeah, that's pretty much it. This is the main part of my side of the rig because I'm doing all the singing for all the songs, so this is like the #1 tool that I use. These two things are my #1 tools that I use in the show.
Thank you for checking out our gear. We're the Knox from New York City, and you can check us out online at the Knox on Twitter, on Facebook, the Knox. We have an album coming out March 4th called 55. Check it out, and
Knox.com.
we'll see you on tour.